TikTok has just called Washington, D.C.'s bluff, and now it's not going to matter one bit who's president for the next 48 to 72 hours or beyond. They've basically just said, Washington, D.C., we don't need the 170 million Americans who are on TikTok as much as they need us. So we're going to take our ball and go home unless you give us complete immunity. And there's going to be absolutely no way that either Biden or Trump is going to be able to say anything other than yes. And that will be the end of that discussion. How many of you have heard the quote, I'm sure a lot of you have, from this man named Juvenal already long ago? From when we sold our vote to no man, the people have abdicated our duties. For the people who once upon a time handed out military command, high civil office, legions, everything, now restrains itself and anxiously hopes for just two things: bread and circuses. Some people have shortened it down to give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt. Because the evil isn't in the bread and circuses, but in the willingness of the people to sell their rights as free men for full bellies, the excitement of the games or the inaugurations or whatever political games are being played, which would serve to distract them from other human hungers which bread and circuses can never appease. Mark my words. If they decide, TikTok decides, and they already have, to go dark on Sunday, you watch how fast things spiral out of control in this country. There are so many youth out there who are desperate for any kind of a dopamine hit, and the internet, like so many other things, has a tolerance that gets built up to it, and without it, and it goes away right away cold turkey, you watch how bad it gets. TikTok says it'll go dark on Sunday. The app says it will turn off more than 170 million Americans' access unless the Biden administration intervenes immediately. You see, that's the point. Americans need TikTok more than TikTok needs Americans because it's a global platform. They've got billions of users over in Asia. They don't need us. They don't need us. Now, this is something that we've been talking about, the idea of living the thought-based life as opposed to the emotion-based life, over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel. Some people think that this is just some kind of a scam or some kind of a way to get... It isn't, trust me. The idea of manually, meaning not just waiting to feel however you feel that day and go about your day, of manually, forcibly taking control of your own mind and deciding affirmatively that you're going to live the thought-based life and look at everything critically, no matter who it is, no matter what it is, no matter who's happy about it or who likes it or who the most recent, super popular guy to follow is. Those of you who've been over there know what we're talking about. The 24 cognitive biases, the 24 logical fallacies. The next series of videos are going to be for the next 2 levels up. We have 4 levels over there, 1, 5, 10, and 15. We just did a video week before last for everyone. The main level, the Maquis foot soldiers. Last week, a couple days ago actually, need to know roundtable, a $5 level. Next few days, probably by, I'm going to say Tuesday, we're going to have the 2-part video that we always do. Unit commanders and brigade commanders, the joint briefing for the first part, and then brigade commanders only for the second part. Love to have you over there. Love to have you over there. TikTok says it will go dark on Sunday unless Biden intervenes immediately. Unless Biden intervenes immediately. Meaning they don't necessarily care what Trump does or doesn't do. The mind is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master. And right now, I hate to say it, most Americans aren't masters of their own mind. Because if they were, they would have very different fundamental opinions on all of the major topics that we discussed today. Whether it be immigration, whether it be the cost of groceries, whether it be anything else that is affecting our daily life. The cost of gas, all of these things our involvement overseas, how we govern our country, the arguments would change if we took out the emotions. You see, young people have been trying desperately to stay out of this stuff. That's what most American adults don't get. Young people have been trying desperately to not be a part of this. To go find someplace to just find some peace and be happy and be distracted. And they hole themselves up in their rooms with their electronic devices. Give them free Wi-Fi. Give them high-speed Wi-Fi. Let them order Uber Eats. Let them order DoorDash. Let them order Grubhub. Whatever they order. And, they'll put on their sweats. And all of their social activity will occur through a screen. Because nothing else is perfectly safe. I believe in the Gen X generation, we were probably the last generation that got brought up with the idea that, our parents thought, the world is what the world is. We don't want bad things to happen to our kids, but we're not going to tell them that being safe all the time is always the best choice. Sometimes you have to get out there and take a risk. And sometimes bad things happen, and sometimes good things happen, but you have to go out and engage. You have to go out and be a part of the world. Sometimes you're going to see things you don't like. Sometimes people are going to say things that shock you and offend others around you. And that's part of life. That's part of living, being able to deal with it and build up a thick skin, a bit of an armor, and let it just bounce off. And you can't always have somebody out there, some governmental police force or electronic platform police force out there deleting and censoring everything that might possibly could offend some people somewhere. You can't have that. And I think that's a Gen X thing. This idea of always being safe all the time is offensive. People have taken me to task with talking about, the issue with OnlyFans, and, they just now banned Pornhub in Florida and in Texas and in a couple other places and all. This is the stuff 1984 warned about. If you don't like, pornography, if you don't like Cornhub, don't watch. Don't go be a part of it. And you can have an opinion about, who does and who doesn't. That's fine. Express your opinion. Those of us, who, whether you're attacking us or attacking, the people on the platform, they don't necessarily care about your opinion. But now it's government's job. You talk about dark horse propaganda. Talk about human containment network. With the U.S. government saying, we're gonna ban TikTok. We're gonna ban TikTok because of Chinese influence. TikTok just said, oh, really? Oh, okay, well, we'll just leave then. No, wait, hold on, TikTok. We're the one that are gonna ban. No, TikTok's like, nah. No, we're not going to play this game. We're not going to give you the impetus, U.S. government, to let you roll yourself out to be the hero to whatever group you're trying to virtue signal to. We're not going to do that. We're just going to leave. We're just going to leave, and we're going to take our content, and we're going to go back over to Asia and over to Europe and over to the Middle East and over to Africa and then maybe even to South America. And we'll have our content down there. You don't want us? We don't care what the opinion of the U.S. government is. We're leaving America. We're leaving America. And if you want to beg us to come back, well, then we'll talk. See, Americans aren't used to that. Americans are not used to hearing that. So I'm curious as to what you think. I really am. If you think it's a super great idea that the U.S. government then takes the lead on morality, what it thinks is, there was I wish I would have brought it up. Over at RT, there is another platform that's a lot like TikTok that tons of users are flocking to. And basically, it's the same thing. And people said, what, if I have a choice between the Chinese spying on me or our own government censoring me and spying on me, I'll choose the Chinese. I'll choose the Chinese. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. So you can make whatever decision you want about what you want for your life, and that's great. But when you go out there and you start forcing your moral decisions on other people, and I don't want to hear people say, well, we can't have a country the founding fathers would have wanted that. I don't personally care what the founding fathers would have wanted. They're dead. And neither should you, because the founding fathers, imagine going to the founding fathers of this country and saying, well, we want a country just like good old England. I mean, we've had it so good. Imagine what they would have said. You see my point? The founding fathers did not want government getting involved in shit like this. And now people are going to pay the price. People are going to pay the price. What happens if Donald Trump has no say? And it's like, he says, okay, TikTok, we're not going to ban you. And TikTok says, yeah, we don't care. You might ban us. We might turn everybody back on in America. And 3 days later, you could ban us and start levying fines before we could shut everything back off again, just to make it some kind of a financial breadwinner for the U.S. government. No, we're not going to play that game, U.S. government. We're not going to do that. We're just going to shut everything off because we don't need America. We don't need America. America needs to crawl down off its high horse, at least in this respect, and understand that it doesn't run everything. I'll just leave that there. Join us over at Patreon. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. Love to see you at Patreon. We'll see you guys next time.